Hi, I'm Dr. Bill Wyatt again, and I'm a member of the American Orthodontic Society. I'm board certified in this society, and if you're a general dentist or pedodontist or any dentist you want, you can be a regular orthodontist and join the American Orthodontic Society. And if you pass the boards in the American Orthodontic Society, you darn sure can do orthodontics. And it's going to be important here in the States to do that. So I'm a general dentist, but I've been doing nothing but orthodontics since 1970, so I don't think I qualify fully, but I think you'll agree with me. We know a lot of things about orthodontics. Now, today I'm going to talk about lateral expansion, which is pretty obvious up here. And we do this with our, what we call our Big Daddy arch wire. So we've got several other videos on that, and it is a marvelous way of laterally expanding anybody. I don't care how old they are. I've had people in their late 80s and even go into 90s during your treatment, but never done a 90-year-old, but I think you could. Uh, this is going to be a very important video, and it's going to take a little while to go with you and show you through this, and show you some lateral expansions troubles that's going on in the country now, and people don't believe that you can laterally expand people's teeth out like this without moving the teeth out of the bone, and that is not true, and I can't get that across to the people in the higher up deals. Here the next deal, this is lateral expansion, and I'm going to do it on a lower arch, and it's going to be unilateral. It's one side of the mouth is really leaning in, where the upper teeth actually miss the lower teeth. People call it a scissor bite, or you can call it whatever you want, but the upper teeth kind of lap out over the lower teeth, and the lower teeth are inside lingual to the upper teeth. And in the particular case we're doing, we had to expand the upper teeth also, and then we had to expand the lower teeth to where they would meet the upper teeth properly. And it was on, of course, one side of the mouth, so you have to keep the other two upper and lower teeth meeting together to do that. It's an interesting case, and then I'm going to show you what is being done today, or it was in 2013. I got hold of some records of a study club and what they did, and I'm going to show that along with this, or at the end of this. So anyway, we're going to start out here. This is a young man. He's a real nice guy. No problem with him at all. And if you look at his facial structure, it looks lined up good. You know, this is a good height of the face. There's maybe a little excess down here, but not much. A good face. And you wouldn't think the problem that this young man has, that just looking at the facial structure, it covers it up quite a bit. And when you look at the slight smile, you don't see much. No big problem there. You've got a right height, but then when you look at it a little closer, his cuspid teeth are crowded out. See, they're sticking out here over, and these teeth are in pretty good shape in here. These cuspids are sticking out, and so we're going to treat this without any extractions at all. we're just going to expand these teeth out a little more, and we'll bring this out some. As we bring back, these teeth will come up. We've got this closed bite, so we're going to intrude these teeth. They'll come out just slightly, and these cuspids will drop into place into class 1 relation. We'll show that as we go along. Excuse me. We started this case in 1989, March the 23rd of 1989, and so you can keep up with the time that it took us to do this. Okay, looking at the, now this is the left side of his mouth, and these lower teeth actually, the molars miss the upper teeth, and the upper teeth have wear facets on them where they've been ground down to some extent by the lower teeth missing. The lower teeth just go by the occlusion up there. Now, we got to bring these teeth out a good bit, and we're going to have to move these teeth that much further so that they join with the upper teeth up here. And that means this is going to move in this bone structure, and surgeons and people for years have said you cannot put teeth out here where there is no bone, and that is not true. You can move these teeth out and the bone goes with them. Now if you just take one tooth and hold these, say if you held all these teeth back and brought this tooth out, you could probably pull it out of the bone if you carried it out here far enough. But when you take a group of teeth like this and move them out, the bone structure, the alveolar bone, is there for the teeth, and it goes with the teeth. Except if you just held the whole group back and pulled one of them out of there, you might be able to do that. I've expanded thousands and thousands of teeth like that, and I've never, to my knowledge, pulled one out of the bone structure. But yet, I had a periodontist or somebody came by that knew one of the people in our audience, and I invited him in, and he came in there and saw what I was doing on this case, and he just jumped up and down. I mean, said, you just pull all those teeth out of the bone. There's no bone around the teeth. And this was quite a few years ago, and as you pull the teeth out, you see this ridge of bone? It's still on them when they're out here. And he was soldering them down there out of the bone. They didn't pull completely away from the bone inside, maybe a little bit as they moved out there real fast. You know, we didn't go real fast, but we just gradually carried them out here. And then we first had expanded these teeth so that the bottom ones came out even further than they would to come out and meet these teeth back, the molars back in the back. The bicuspids meet, and this one meets pretty good, but it tapers off back here in the 6-year molar, and second molar and all are just completely in a cross bite. I mean a scissor bite. This is more than a cross bite. Okay. Now, that's what people believe, and they continue to believe that. Now, this happened in 1980, what was that, 89, or I thought it was even earlier than that. Was 89, January, March 23rd of 89, and I've been lecturing on this for all these years and showing people and talking about it and how we expand all this stuff, and still they do not think that you can put teeth out here without surgically going in and removing the bone, removing this whole section of bone, bringing it out. But let me show you what they did on a young lady here in 2013. Okay, I don't want to take too much time on this, but this is something that people need to know, because people are being surgically operated on, and they do not need to be. And I mean that. So anyway, let's go through this. Now the right side of the mouth met good. You know, these teeth are okay, except they're class 2. So we're going to have to take this cuspid and bring it down into this spot right over here. No big deal with that, but we're going to take this, both upper and lower arch here are going to be pitted against the lower arch only over here, and they're going to expand that. And we're going to put one of these big wires in here, and they don't cost anything, so nobody ever advertises them. You can build one for $1 or $2 probably, and put it in yourself, and I can do anything in the world with the expansion of lower or upper arches, except I do palatal separation with that. And you don't need all these fancy gadgets they put on the inside of the mouth to expand that. You can just take a plain old round wire and do any of it now, and I'll dare you, I can do anything they do down here that I can think of with that arch. Expand the lower anteriors. I'm going to show you that. We can expand any of it with an arch wire. And all we have to do is we put some reverse torque. If these teeth are angled out this way and we expand them, we have to put reverse torque to bring the roots out. And that's where people have to use their head and have to be able to do a little wire bending. So they buy all this junk. I'm sorry, I don't mean it's junk. It's people figure out ways to do it and put it inside. It's so much harder to do than it is just to stick on the outside. And I hope this gets across to people wherever these doggone videos go. They seem to be running all over the earth. Okay, now here's the upper arch. The cuspids are crowded out, you see. And you've got to make some space to get them in here. And we don't want to shove these forward that much. So we're going to move these back. Both these teeth will go back. And we do that with just class 2 elastics. And I don't take them apart, move one and then the next one and the next one. You just move the whole blooming mess back at one time. And that takes less energy and less effort and everything to just take. In other words, you don't pull it and separate the ligaments in here. You just slide that whole alveolar section back, and it'll go back as one group. And you don't have to go in there and separate it and do all that. In fact, I think it's worse to do that than it is just to move the group as a unit. Just move it back some, and we'll move this. This will come forward some when we line this up, and we'll bring these teeth in here, and then we're going to class 2 elastic, class 2 mechanics, and bring the lower forward and this back just a little bit, and we'll put it all in class 1 relation. Now, I don't finish it up just all that beautiful when we get through. It'll still have some flaws in it. All right. On the bottom, you don't notice it much when you look in here, but this side of these teeth is chewing against the inside of the upper teeth. The inside of the upper teeth, it comes in and meets it something like this, you know, down here. It kind of a scissor bite. It slides past it just a little bit down in here. God, I don't know what that was. All right, we're going to expand these out, and we're going to try to hold these in place. Now, there'll be somebody think that they can tie the wire over here and expand it way out on the other side, pull it in, and it'll go one side. The force will be exactly as much over here as it is over on this side. So we have to hook up elastics over here. We know this tooth is being pushed out just as much as this one is. So we're going to hook elastic here and come up and hook it on the inside of the upper teeth. And then over on this side we'll hook elastic and come up and hook it on the outside of the upper teeth. So you'll have these two elastics pushing in one direction and the wire pushing in both directions, and you keep these teeth interdigitating like they should be while you go through this whole treatment. Now at the same time we're going to be pulling this forward some and pulling the upper back some so that we get a class 1 relationship of the teeth. Now this is, I don't want to bore you with this simple part of orthodontics, but that's we need to cover that in here. Okay, now here's the molars, and if you this is the right side. These teeth meet pretty good here. You see the upper teeth are outside the lower teeth. You got the lower cuspid in here. Now over here you can't see this real good, but the lower teeth, the whole total molar is inside over there. God, what's happening there? Okay, we'll pick back up again. We'll have to edit this film some way or another. All right, we'll go on to the next slide. Now, this slide right here, you can see how these teeth actually miss one another. The upper teeth are outside the lower teeth, and the lower teeth are completely missed. They call this a scissor bite. I can see a scissor goes past one another, but that's the way it is. Now we're going to expand the upper teeth out, something like that, and then this whole section of the lower has to go out to match up with this. And then we'll open the bite, and now we're going to put this cuspid tooth, it'll have to go down in that point right there. So there's a lot of movement takes place in the teeth, and you can watch it as it goes. So here we take this simple, that's an old 4-0 round stainless steel wire, and you make it fit, and then you take it out and kind of straighten it out a little, or put the expansion that you want. Know that when you constrict it, it's going to fit again, see, back into place. Now this is the side that's okay, so we're going to have to hook elastic over here and go up and hook it on the inside. Then we'll be wearing class 2 elastics off of here. I've got a picture here with the elastics, so it'll kind of illustrate and show it to you. Something's crazy here. That's what it was. The capta was on. I made a mistake here. No, it didn't either. I'm going to have to pause for a minute. Okay, we'll start again. I don't know what caused that problem, but we've still got it. Okay, we'll start again and see if we can go on. Anyway, you don't see these teeth properly from that angle, so I'll come on and change. Now over here you can see really good where the teeth actually miss right in here, so we're going to bring these teeth out, and we'll have to bring these out more, and the teeth as they move out carry their bone structure with them. And then we're going to pull this cuspid will go down into that slot right there. We'll get this done, and then we'll put class 2 elastics in here. So I don't know what caused that loud noise, but hopefully it stopped. Now this is the Big Daddy arch wire in the mouth, and it's got just as much force on it going out this way as it does on the other side to bring those teeth all the way out. So we'll go on that side from the top. Now you just tie it on out here. Just kind of keep it from going up or down. You don't want it. It doesn't do anything much out here, but it's pulling back in this area just as much as it's pulling over here. Now we've got a long way for these teeth to go. We've expanded the upper one out now and got the cuspids in place, you see. So the upper's expanded, and we expanded this side some, but we got the lower out there with it also. Now we'll show you how we do elastics here in a few minutes. Okay, well, it came right up. Now, looking at this flat, you can't hardly see this is a class 2 elastic, but this elastic here comes off the bone on the outside, hooks on the inside, so it's pulling these teeth out, and it's pulling these teeth in. Excuse me. And this one right here is pulling these teeth in also. Okay, back again. This one back here is pulling from the inside of the bottom. So you've got the wire pulling and the elastic pulling, but we got both elastics pulling the upper arch this way, and we're pulling the lower arch over here. It's pushing it out, and it's pushing it out here, but the two elastics are helping to keep that in place, and we'll hold this in line over here while this does all the movement over on this side. So that's how you do a unilateral movement of the arch. Now we kept the time on it. I think we started this case in the last day of November, so we got December, January, and we'll see how long it took to take these teeth out to where we're going. So it's 11:30. It's the 11th month and the 30th day, so it's just 1 month in 1989, and this goes out. That's 11/30/1989. We'll bring it back. Okay, here we show the Big Daddy arch wire with how much expansion. Now we made it fit to start with. Then you take it out and activate it to whatever you want. If you got somebody that you know is not going to run away, you can put a little more activation in it. Now these teeth will stay in line. It will expand. Your upper arch is going to move this way slightly because you got these elastics from both sides pulling on the upper arch. So it's going to move this way slightly, and this one will move this way a little bit to keep it in line, but this is going to move a long way over on this side over here, and the bone structure will stay on the teeth. You can see the gingival tissue on this side right here, and you look at it after it gets expanded. Okay, here's the elastics in where the teeth, the mouth is shut. That's class 2s, and we're pulling this part back, and it's tended to come down, but we've got it on the arch, and this will tend to raise up back in the back, but we use the class 2 mechanics on the whole arch, you see, and it's going back, all of it. You can look at it after you get through with it. Now, here we are. This is where we started. We moved it out, and this is January the 23rd of 1990. Now that's 1 month, the December. We have December, January the 23rd. So that's about 2 months' time, and we virtually got the thing expanded in that length of time. All right, here's this side over here. It is out now, just about. It kind of pulled this tooth out. We'll have to expand that and catch this right in here. You've got a little rotation. There's several things have to be done in addition to this as you can bring that out. But these teeth have moved a long way. These teeth have moved out to some extent, but these have moved a great deal of distance in here, and the bone is still on the teeth. You can take your finger and rub it down here and feel that bone. And this periodontist came in there and saw this and everything. And this was we were in a ski course somewhere, and he was from up around Syracuse, New York, and he said, man, you just pull those teeth out of the bone, and they don't have any bone on them, and this went on and on. They didn't fall out of the guy's mouth, and you could feel the bone on them. Back then, we didn't have the wonderful X-ray and the computerized stuff we've got today, where you can just see the bone and the teeth and everything, which you can prove that today. And so maybe people will catch on and start doing this. But anyway, there's bone on these teeth. I know it. I told that guy, this is hacked off at him. I said, well, I'm not going to skin him to show that there's bone under there, but there's bone, you can feel it. You don't have to be an idiot to see the bone structure. Now this is the upper arch. We had expanded both of them, and they're lined up real good, no problem in there. And here is the lower arch. Now these teeth have moved quite a ways, and the gingival tissue right here is a little thicker than you see it over here. But if it had stayed over here, it would have been way in here, because we moved those teeth a long way, and that bone is still on them. And I've never run the teeth out of the bone going and doing this and bringing it out. And it took a month and 23 days of nearly 2 months. I mean, what's 2 months, to bring that out? That's good. That's plenty of time to do that. So here we'll go ahead and finish this case up. We dragging them. This is a distorted picture of the upper. I don't know how. If you sent them off back then, you had to take what you got, but it wasn't distorted. Now this is kind of caught in the. I want to rotate that cuspid and bring it out. I hope I did that. But you see where the lower teeth are fitting right underneath these upper teeth, and these upper teeth are out some. So this cuspid. Now this cuspid was way out here somewhere, and now it's back there. So we have pulled it with the class 2 elastics, and the whole blooming mess went at one time, going back like that. I don't kind of hate to back up that far, but if you get back here very far, and you see where those cuspids were to start off with, now you see that cuspid, that's together. This cuspid moved from there down to there. In other words, this whole section moved back to where it's in a class 1 relation. This is class 2 down here. This molar here ought to be out in this relationship to that one there. And you look at this when we get back to the other side now. We'll go back there pretty fast. And you can see those teeth are they're in class 1 relation back here now. See where that cuspid is? And that thing was sticking up here somewhere right there. All of this has gone back. This came forward to some extent. And now it's in virtually a class 1 relationship as well as meeting in here. And all of it's been done with the expansion of just a piece of wire that you stuck in here that you could probably buy that piece of wire for $1, you know. And I'm going to show you a case now after this, after we finish this. And this case held up. I've got some pictures here of 91. We'll pass that distorted, but that's the only view I had, see. Now you need to learn how to bend some of these wires. I should have put an offset in here and brought this tooth in some, you see, and this one needs to be rotated. But you see I bent this wire to bring that out, and you see how nicely this is lined up right here. This is not all that lined up right here. I need to work on that some before we get through and we go back in the second molars. You always band the second molar or put a bracket on it. But we put bands on our 6-year molars all the time, and we have double tubes on them and triple tubes on the upper. And if you want to do this, the double arch wires, you can just do so much more with them. All right, I jumped over one. Now there are the two cuspids. I mean, they're lined up. That's about as class 1 as you can get, you see, it's right there. And the other side, I think of is virtually the same way, a little bit off. Didn't get this, and that's a little off, and this is a little off. So I haven't got this side pulled in as good as the other side, I don't think. And this is 1990, and I may have taken this young man out a little before I should have. The facial structure doesn't look a lot different, you see, now that we've virtually finished the orthodontic. See, I didn't get this as good as I should have right here. And if I take that off, now I'm rotating that tooth down here. See this wedge? These are little tiny brackets. They give you a lot of inner bracket space. We like them, but it's kind of hard to rotate teeth in them. All right, we're at 91. That it's not closed down. Now this will have to interdigitate and sock in a lot better than that, you see. Well, on the good side to start with is still off too. All right, here's January of 91. And everything's lined up pretty good. January of 91, the lower looks good. And the lady, or this young man, is paid. We've got that rotating spring in there, wedge in there, and that brought this out, improved it. Young man looks good. And this is a cephalometric. You can't hardly see where those teeth are down there. And there it is during treatment. The cephalometric. All right. This is the Panorex. And that's when they were missing in here. And here it is. We're in the process. That's 1990. Now we move some of the teeth a long way so you look like you've got periodontal pockets, but the bone fills in around there where you move. As long as the attachment is good, the bone fills in and it stays with the teeth. And there it is in 91 again. It looks like they got some pockets, but where you move the teeth a lot, as long as the attachment is good, the bone fills back into that area. Here the guy is gotten a little bit older here. And that's where we started, and there's where we finished. Now that alone is a big deal to get that in there. So we covered group movements of teeth, lateral expansion to where you put teeth where there's no bone, and people don't believe you can do that, but you can, and they surgerize so many people trying to put teeth out there. That's ridiculous. That move there, we did no surgery whatsoever in this. Looking at the front of it, had a deep bite. So we open the bite, we've got an overbite and overjet that's good. Over here, you've got a complete class 2 with a scissor bite. And this is in and down, and we'll level this whole thing out, you see. And now it's leveled up, it's in place, and this will sock in better than it is right now. And this cuspid is down in place there. Uh-oh, there's that blooming noise again. Okay, these are back like this. This is where we started with it, and there it is. We expanded the upper arch. We definitely expanded the lower arch. And you can see the inside bone structure on those teeth is out a little bit, but the bone is still on those teeth, and it'll fill in around them just like it was. Here it is in 1992. The teeth haven't fallen out of his mouth. They're still there, and they're working good. And the right side, which was pretty good to start with, but it was class 2, it's in place. So here it is. This is 5 of 92. The uppers there, 5 of 92. We put a 3-to-3 retainer in the bottom, and this will show you on the Panorex X-rays what the bone structure on the teeth is doing. Here he is, facial stuff, it looks good. And then we're going to start on this next case right here. But first I'm going to pause this thing and see. All right, we'll pick back up again. I'm going to go into this next case. This is a okay, we'll start on this case. Now, I did not take any of these pictures. They were given to me or passed on to me from a guy that was in the study club over in Dallas of orthodontists and old surgeons, and had a few GPs, and one of them was the guy that I'd had in a lecture, and he voted to not go this way. So I'm going to try to go through this, and I don't blame these people. That's the way they were taught, but that's not the best way to do it. Now this young lady came in. She had a missing molar tooth over here on this side. I think it's may have been a bicuspid. Let me check. I have to count the teeth to tell. But on the other side of the mouth, she had this tremendous, call it a scissor bite, or these teeth just totally missed in here. And so you won't believe what they did, though. Let me go ahead and show some more pictures here right quick. She had 3 good teeth on this side on the bottom, and I'll show you that in just a second. Now on the top, you see where these teeth were worn off, where the bottom teeth hit in here, or the cusp off of these teeth right there. I'll get that line out there so you can actually see where the teeth are worn down, and so your lower teeth would be inside this right in here, you see. So it's a little worse crossbite, but not a lot worse. Now mine was on the other side of the mouth that we did about 20 years before that, you see. Now here the bottom arch is, and these were the teeth that were inside right here. Those are 3 good teeth she's got, and she's got 1 tooth over on this side and a couple of bicuspids over there. Here we've got only 1 bicuspid. Is a first bi is missing here, and the lower anteriors are out. So the lady can't spare any more teeth, and she would like to keep those teeth, you know. Now you won't believe what they did to correct this, where we'd have just put an expanding wire in there and gone out with that and held this in place over here, even though it didn't have very many teeth. It can be done. There we are back again. So we'll have to dial that out later. All right, you can look at it, but the model is not together properly there. It's slipped over on that side even more. Makes it look worse. Now when you look at it here, these pictures, I didn't take any of that. This is all I got. So I'm showing you what it shows in the young lady's mouth. Okay, they came in and put braces on it. Did a nice job with the braces, all that. And here's a Panorex looking at the teeth, and you can see the teeth over on the, I think hers is the left side. Mine was the opposite side anyway. And those are some pretty good teeth that she's got. Here they did a fancy workup and measured everything. And now they actually, you won't believe, but they took out those 3 good teeth and they spread that bone out where they could put implants at an angle to meet on the other, so they could meet the other teeth. And I just couldn't believe that's what they did. Now there the teeth are, you see, and they took those 3 good teeth out right here. I hope that thing doesn't ring, but and then they put implants at an angle to meet the other teeth. So they had to spread this a little bit, put some bone, freeze-dried bone in there, and they seemed to be proud of what they had done. I just couldn't believe it. So they're working on the bone structure, and no telling what this would cost. I don't know who paid for all this. And there's just a model. Now here they are with the arch wires in, and this is the young lady, and this is the time of this was 2013. And there's a picture. I didn't shoot any of these pictures now, but you can see what is there. All right, now they come in, and there the teeth are. They took these good teeth out. Can you imagine? They could have moved them out, and their bone would have gone with them. They had beautiful roots on them. Everything else could have just gone out there with them. No problem whatsoever. I could have done it. I don't. They may not have ever. They weren't taught that. They taught that you've got to cut the bone, or else put the implants at an angle in there to do it. They took them out, and here are the implants in the mouth. And so they came back and built up crowns on those implants that would function up against these teeth above here. And I just cringe at that. I can't imagine someone not realizing that you do not have to do that. And here she is. They've got the teeth all in there. It looks pretty good, you know. But how much cheaper? It would cost just a fraction to go in there and move her own teeth back over there. Now put the implant on the other side, that's fine, you know. This one right here, I don't mind. But this over here, to me, is absolutely ridiculous. And I hope that they never look at this. They'll want to shoot me, I'm afraid. But that is wrong. And I hope everybody that looks at it realizes, look at the one in front. Ours wasn't quite as bad, but it was darn near as bad, you see, to do that. And maybe this will go around to enough people, to the people up above that are in power up here, that teaching people will quit teaching them that this has to be the way it is. I don't know what you have to do to wake people up. So I'm going to finish this thing up, and I appreciate your watching, and I hope that this message will get across. And this video's taken too long, and I'm going to have to go in and edit a lot of this out of there. I don't know what caused some of it, but I hope you get the message here, and this will stick with people around the world. So there'll be a lot of people that won't have to be cut on and moved and done ridiculous things to. That you can do it, and Mother Nature will do a lot of this stuff for you. So farewell. I hope everything works out for you. Thank you for watching. Now, bye-bye. Okay. Stop.